But hello, this is going to be a fun time for everyone here. You're here with our September monthly meetup, or rather, you're here for in September for our Job Hackers monthly meetup. We just gave a quick synopsis on the Agile MBA. If you're curious about that, go ahead and look in the description and look in more events. But we're here to be able to celebrate Chris Sims and the Agile Learning Labs, and we're going to have some fun today. So we're going to be doing recording to be able to give a picture of the kinds of, the topic overall. Chris, go ahead and describe that and provide that there. And then I
Yes.
think we'll be able to have recordings, even though we have breakout rooms. We'll figure out how to be able to do that for anyone that's watching the recording afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what'll probably work well is record the stuff up to the point they go off to breakout rooms and then record the presentations when they come back. So, welcome everybody. And the topic today is when bad things happen to good teams. And the premise here is we're going to look at some case studies and imagine, ooh, how would a really high performing team deal with this? And then kind of dig one layer into that and say, oh, well, what were the things that had to be in place for that high performing team to be able to deal with that, that bad thing, that problem that came up. And we're going to kind of use the lens of the 3 pillars of Scrum as an analysis tool to help us kind of examine the situation, think about the things that a high-performing team would already have in place so that they could deal with the challenge when it came. So I just want to take a moment and kind of walk through, like when I say the 3 pillars of Scrum, what the heck am I talking about? So Scrum is this approach where we inspect and adapt, right? We're working in the complex domain where we can't know in advance everything that's going to happen. And so we're going to have to, frequently make adjustments. And so Scrum is a framework to do that. And it's said that it's built on these 3 pillars. So the 3 pillars are transparency, inspection, adaptation. So transparency means that the important information is visible to everybody involved, whether it's the people doing the work or the people that we're doing the work for. The idea is that if we have a self-organizing, self-managing team, and they have access to all the information about what's going on, and our stakeholders have that as well, we're going to be able to collaborate, we're going to be able to self-organize, self-manage, and make the necessary adjustments as we go. So having things not be hidden, right? Having there not be silos, having there not be, people who are hoarding information is one of the pillars. It's great if things are visible, but we need to actually build in time to go look at it, right? It's all too easy to be so focused on, oh, we got to go fast, work hard, work hard, work hard. But if we're moving in the wrong direction, it's not helping us. We're just working really hard, getting ourselves farther and farther off course. And so to avoid that, we have to build in time where we say, hold on, everybody, let's really look at everything here, see where we are, compare that to where we thought we were going to be. So having these times where we build in time to inspect what's going on is really vital. And then the whole purpose of doing that is adaptation. And when I think about adaptation, perhaps my favorite analogy is sailing, right? When you're sailing, you're always off course, right? There are currents that are changing all the time. There's winds that are changing all the time. And so it's not enough to simply know where you're trying to go and start out pointed in that direction. You frequently need to inspect, hey, which way are we heading right now? And then once you figure out, hey, yeah, we're a little bit off course, we're going too far this way, then of course we have to adapt, right? We have to change our sails, change our rudder or whatever. And so these are the 3 pillars: transparency, inspection, adaptation. And when we've got these in place and things are, they're working well, great. A high performing team can navigate the bumps and obstacles that come their way and, do as well as anybody could. So we're going to dive into an exercise and see how that happens. So in this exercise, you're going to be on a team, and your team is going to be looking at a case study. And we got 3 different case studies, alpha, beta, and gamma. And your team will get a Google worksheet that'll look like this. And, up here is just kind of a description. Hey, this is a high-performing team. They're working in a high-performing environment, right? Life is great. Uh-oh, then something bad is going to happen to our team. So we have a description of the scenario, right? What's the bad thing that happened to our team? And then here's where you're going to do your work. Analysis and application. So for each of these 3 pillars, you're going to describe, like, how do you think that this team already has stuff in place to implement this pillar, right? And then how is that going to help them deal with the situation, right? Similarly, how do they inspect, right? How is that inspection going to support them? And then finally, right, this is where it all comes together. What adaptation do you imagine that this team is going to put in place, or maybe multiple adaptations, so that they can recover from the situation that they find themselves in? So given how many folks we are, I think we're going to be 3 teams. So 1 team for each scenario.
Yep.
I'm going to
Jim, you can run one of these teams here.
Well, I'm gonna drop the links in the
Aren't
chat.
they self-organizing teams?
They will be self-organizing
They will be.
teams. They will be. So so just so you know which team you're going to be on, team 1 is going to be Angela, Megan, Sunny, Terry, Todd. Team 2, Adam, Alicia, Jaya, Punkage, and Peter. And team 3 is, help me out, Age, Dr. Suman, Tammy, and Teresa. And Jim. Assuming Jim, do you want to be in one of the working groups?
Sure.
Okay, so Jim will be in team 3 as well. So I'm going to send you off to a breakout room. I'm going to give you 25 minutes to work on your case study. So read through it, discuss with your teammates. These worksheets should be editable for you and your teammates. And just in case you want to, I just enabled screen sharing. So in your breakout room,
Right.
if somebody wants to screen share, you can do that, or you could just have everybody click into the document. Either way should work just fine.
Chris, do you have some guiding points to be able to get started where we're having these conversations?
The instructions will walk them through it.
Excellent.
And I will drop into each of the rooms in the first couple of minutes to make sure that you're, into your document and off to a good start, answer any early questions. If you want me to come back to your room, click the request help option, and then I can come back into your breakout room and, and render more assistance. Quick question, who is actually the Zoom host right now?
I'm currently the Zoom host there, Chris.
So those messages will actually go to you, so you can just
Yep.
let me know. And
Yeah, I can DM you directly.
Perfect. All right, questions before I send you off to start working on your case study?
Real quick,
Where are
Chris.
people going to find the request help?
It's down at when you're in the breakout room, it'll be down at the bottom of Zoom. It'll either appear right down there on the bottom row, or sometimes it goes to hide in the ... more menu, and it'll show up when they're in the breakout room. So it's not there now. I think I heard another question.
Yeah, I actually have to drop off at 6, so I hope I'm part of the largest group, which they won't miss one person.
You are, so that works out.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
All right. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to send you off. Like I say, I'll drop into each room in the first couple of minutes to make sure you're off to a good start and have fun with this. Oh, and to be clear, when we come back, each team is going to report out what they came up with. So give a little bit of thought to, how you're going to present. Do you want to take turns? Do you want to make one person your spokesperson? Right? Give some thought to that. All right. See you soon.
Guys, I'll go ahead and join room 2 here.
All right.
If you want to, or I can join room 1, either one.
I would say room 2 because they have one less person, I think. And then, if somebody clicks the request help button and you get that message, let me know. And then Punkage, you should have a breakout room option down at the bottom of Zoom. It's usually down by chat and share. Sometimes it hides in the ... more menu.
Hello. Hello.
I'm muted. Felicia, good to see you. How you doing?
Good, Chris. How are you?
I am well. You're not too late. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat, and I'm
Okay,
gonna send you off to Team One.
thank you.
Let me grab the document, the Team One link. Here it comes in the chat. You can go ahead and click into that, and there, I think they're screen sharing in there too, so you'll be able to visually see what's going on. But basically, they're working through a case study of a high-performing team overcoming a challenge. So I'm going to send you off to breakout room 1, and you can join them in progress.
Okay, thanks.
And Punkage.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, Chris, I got dropped off.
No worries. No worries.
I was part of team 2. Yeah.
Team 2. Okay, let me grab you the Team 2 link.
Yeah, I have the link with
Oh,
me.
you have it. Okay.
Actually, yeah, I was dropped out because I had an internet issue. Yeah.
No worries. I will send you off to Team 2.
Thank you.
Teresa, welcome.
How?
Hello. Were you already on a team?
Nope.
No? Okay, just joining us?
Yep.
All right, so I got folks off in breakout rooms working on case studies.
Oh, okay.
And I think that team number 1 could use another person. So I'm going to send you there. I'm going to put the team number 1 link in the chat so you can click into their document. And I will send you off to the breakout room. Basically what's going on is it's a case study. So it's a high-performing team and a high-performing organization, but they've just faced a big challenge. And so together you're figuring out, ooh, how would a high-performing team address this challenge?
Oh, okay.
All right. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Thanks.
Welcome. ADP 1. Who is this? Oh, you are on mute. Welcome back, Team 1. Welcome back. The other teams will be back in about 30 seconds. And it may not surprise you to find out, Team 1, you will be the first to present. And here comes everybody else.
Excellent. As we're all getting back here, I think we'll be able to auto-magically, we jumped away and we jumped back and we now have all the things we can present. I don't think there's going to be 25 minutes of dead air.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Zoom is apparently hung up on the final closing of the rooms. They seem to be
I can handle that, not a problem.
Boom. Nice. Thank you. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So you've had some time to workshop your case study and to look at it through these 3 lenses, right? Transparency, inspection, adaptation. And I'm going to be really curious to hear what you imagine. Your team has been doing well. Obviously, things aren't perfect, right? We've got this problem. But how are those things that they've been doing well going to support them as they deal with the situation? So team number 1, if you want to share your screen, you can. I'm also going to drop the links back into the chat, so if people want to just click in and look at the team's worksheet, you can do that too. But team one, do you want me to read your scenario? Do you want to read it? And then tell us what you came up with.
I can read it. Do you just want to read like all three sort of paragraphs there?
Yeah, if you want to start out with the scenario and then go through your analysis.
Okay. All right. So the scenario here is technical debt. So a vendor who makes a code library that our product depends on is going out of business. Our company acquired the rights to the source code for that library so that we can continue to build and maintain it ourselves. Everyone is pleased since the library is a bit buggy and the vendor was slow to implement fixes and enhancements. We already have important new features on the roadmap, which will be enabled by enhancements we plan to make to the library code. Team Alpha has begun working in the library code and is worse than we expected. The code appears to have been developed by a variety of contractors who weren't working together, didn't follow any common coding standards, and none of it has automated tests. Our team knew it would be scary to take over somebody else's code base, but they really weren't ready for this level of technical debt. Sales and marketing is looking for guidance regarding the availability of the important new features. Because we have that dependency here between the new features and this library code from the vendor that's pretty buggy. When we were looking at the first sort of tenet, the transparency. How do we believe the team makes things visible? We said Team Alpha can inform sales and marketing about the technical debt issues. So they need to do an initial assessment to document the known issues, and they'll also communicate that they may discover additional issues as they progress, and will continue to communicate issues as they discover them. So kind of the main tenet here is just keeping that communication open so that they understand how those technical debt issues can impact the features, and then that helps inform sales and marketing so that they can make informed decisions. And then do you want to continue on? We're sort of splitting this presentation. Todd?
Where are we at now?
So we're on
transparency. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. The emergent process and work. That's where I'm starting, right? Not from analysis.
Oh, from the part you wrote around the how will this transparency help them in dealing with their current challenge?
Oh, thank you. Sorry. Yes. So by creating a backlog, sales and marketing has full visibility, and they can prioritize and make decisions based on the information provided in that backlog. So the backlog is created from all this technical debt and can be stack ranked based on customer needs, quality marks, standards, complexity, and speed to market. So we want to make sure that when we create a backlog, it's clear and is clearly defined in where it stacks on what to do first and what to do last.
And then I'll move on to the inspection part. What does this team do frequently to inspect their work product, and how are they working, and their connections with stakeholders? So Team Alpha follows the Scrum ceremonies and maintain communication with the business on priority and progress. So they have a backlog that's prioritized with feedback from the business. They add items to the sprint and sprint planning, have a sprint review and demo with the business to get their feedback. And of course, they communicate any changes or issues to the business as they come up during the sprint, if that impacts that sprint, or it's a significant discovery that could impact that sprint or future sprints.
And how will this inspection help them in dealing with their current challenge? Well, maintaining communication with the business so that they're aware of all the obstacles to overcome, the risks involved, mitigation steps, These regular inspections will always ensure that the project is continuously improved. But when it comes to quality assurance, these regular inspection points, they help teams ensure that these deliverables are meeting the defined standards or product requirements. And each review always influences the next sprint. That's just general practice because it's, you know, you're as your data driving decisions move forward to the next sprint. That's the thing. It's like you're making decisions based on the previous review. Consistency in reviewing progress always helps teams stay aligned with goals and expectations.
And then you want to read the last part, right?
Yeah, and then for adaptation, how do you believe this team will adapt to current challenges? Describe how they should apply countermeasure to reduce the impact of the challenge. Using any insights and feedback from a sprint review, a dev team can make adjustments for any future sprints. When you're combing through sprint backlog, you need to be flexible and adaptable because when new insights arise, the team should be able to adjust accordingly based on those new findings. But these daily stand-up meetings are also should be flexible because when they change, the team members need to change to adjust to their work according to their current priorities. So everything remains flexible. So it's like you're always in this adaptation mode, if you will, when new insights arise. So you got to be. It's one of the cool things is that if your team is prepared to be flexible, you can usually get to a new outcome. If anybody else on the team wants to share their insights, so it's just not me and
and Megan.
that would be please say what you feel, because it's quite a problem that we had. I forgot who said they should ask for their money back. You know, it's like, yeah, no kidding, man. Holy shoot, man, that's quite a bit. That's quite a pile to stumble upon.
And I'll call out that all three of these case studies are based on actual situations from clients I've worked with over the years. So this was one that really happened.
I could believe it.
I lived
I
through
believe
one
it
like
too.
that. And what becomes tough is figuring out how to work in the relief of that tech debt in relation to all the other demands for new features and for extensions of existing features you coded yourself and all these other things, you know, bugs, bug fixes, whatever. You got to kind of manage that backlog. Well, you got to manage the issues with the tech debt as part of that greater backlog, not in isolation from it. You don't get unlimited resources to throw at relieving the tech debt. So,
Right, and you have to determine what is going to impact whether or not a feature can be released. So, you know, that's certainly a consideration.
and you have to figure out what can you live with for the next couple of years, because you're not going to fix everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And in this particular case, one of the things that helped the team a lot on the technical side was all of the features in their product did have automated tests. And so at least they had the warning when they were mucking about in that, you know, library code and broke something. Did it break something in our product, right? Now, the library code itself didn't have automated tests and didn't have good documentation. And so kind of getting their heads around that and getting that under control ended up being a multi-year process, as they basically just accepted that, any new development that requires changes there is going to go a lot slower than we would otherwise like because there's a lot of unknown there.
Mm-hmm.
So they just, you know, they were really open and transparent with their stakeholders. It was like good news, bad news. we
Yep.
own this thing now, so we have full control over it. So we're no longer limited by whether or not this vendor will do what we ask, which had been a problem historically. Bad news, oof, right? There be monsters there. So
So why do you suppose that vendor went out of business anyway?
very mysterious, very mysterious. Yeah. Nicely done. Any parting comments or questions, either for Team One or from Team One?
I
What
thought
was
it
one of the-
was.
Oh,
Let's
go
do
ahead.
Teresa, and then Edward.
So I thought it was strange that they had sales and marketing prioritizing the backlog and not just being stakeholders for the product owner to take their input.
So, relatively small company. I mean, it was kind of a startup company that had started to hit their stride and was growing. And sales and marketing, very, very much still driving, right? They were definitely in the process of having their product owners be more and more empowered. But historically, right, sales and marketing had done a lot of the setting of the direction. So yeah, it's where they were.
I figured it was just the same people, dual roles.
Yeah, I figured they were the ones that were the stakeholders. So, that's kind of who's kind of help prioritize. And of course, yeah, the product owner can give feedback as well. But yeah, they're the business.
Nicely. Oh, Edward, you had something.
I just wanted to ask of Team One what steps they took to be able to organize as a team to be able to cover this particular challenge.
It's a really good question, because when we started, there was 5 of us, and then it dropped down to 3 before 6
Then back up to
p.m.
5.
And then it went back up to 5. So the storming process
Very
was
stormy.
very stormy.
Fluid.
Yeah, it's very fluid. So it was like me and Megan just sort of talking it through, and letting others just kind of listen and give any input as they see fit. And when other people joined, we started. It was kind of forming, actually. It was a little rocky there for a bit, but the reactions were great. Like, I love when people show up and they're just reading this and they're just like, "Oh my God, it's a tornado of all this stuff," and the reaction quality was awesome. I just love that. People come in and say, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?" And it sort of helps ground you in reality of, like, yeah, this is real world stuff, and this kind of stuff does happen, and you do run into that sort of feelings of, like, this is insane. Why are we even here? To address this. How could we possibly get this done? But if you go through the practices, the steps, and, like, this is a real world example, and I think the key point, as Megan pointed out, for me, is like the communication is key here amongst all the
Transparency.
teams. Yeah, full transparency. You can't get anywhere unless you do that first. Like, that's paramount.
I'm
I'm thinking back to Chris's sailing metaphor and imagining 3 people falling off the boat and 2 more jumping on a little bit later, all while trying to manage the currents and the wind and everything else.
Yep.
Yeah, this was a brilliant exercise for that. Yeah.
Yep.
Love it. I love it. Give it up for team number 1. Nicely done, and always challenging to go first. Team number 2. Love to have you walk us through your scenario and then walk us through your analysis of it.
Okay. I am representing team number 2's breakout room right now. And our scenario was called The Bad Forecast. Team Veda has been in stealth mode developing the company's next blockbuster video game. The company is planning to announce the new game with a splashy TV ad during the Super Bowl 3 months from now. The ad is paid for and ready to go. the team's forecast made using their velocity said that they should be able to deliver the game with a couple of weeks to spare. This sprint, the team has made a troubling discovery. There's a bug in the third-party software library that the game depends on.
It's a pattern here.
The bug is making certain parts of the game slow and unstable. Occasionally, the game crashes and the player loses all of their unsaved progress. The vendor says they will have a fix available in 6 months. The team could implement the functionality themselves and eliminate the dependency on the third-party library. They believe doing this would take them 2 to 4 months, in addition to the work that they already have. Either of these options would push the first release of the game well past the Super Bowl Sunday. The stakeholders are currently unaware of the issue, and the sprint review is coming up tomorrow. In our analysis, under transparency, we had the question, how do you believe this team makes things visible? And as we were talking, we sussed out, currently there isn't transparency with the stakeholders. They do have a sprint review and can inform the stakeholders then. Transparency in between the team members and the vendor and the third-party software is part of the way that this team is implementing it. And if the team needs to be running in stealth mode, and they also have an artificial timeline for the Super Bowl ad, it was kind of like, we kind of were chuckling a little bit about how ads are never shown prior. We did have a theory that this was a very large company. I'm very curious once we finish this part to find out from Chris the reality, if this is based on a real company, to know whether or not we had actually analyzed that correctly or not, that this was a big company, or if it was in fact more like a startup. That's an aside though. How will this transparency help them in dealing with our current challenge? Because they communicated to the vendor will let them know the timeline and fix the bug. Internal evaluation also performed to assess the 2 to 4 work for this is done.
There are 2 to 4 months where it might take
2 to 4,
them to do the
yes,
work.
2 to 4 months before the work is done. With inspection, what does the team do to frequently inspect their work, product? How are they working? And their connections with the stakeholders. There's currently a reliance on velocity without accounting for possible gaps. Could this have been discovered earlier with an incorporated QA testing or in the DoD or a
Definition of
parallel
done.
product team? Were you saying something, Edward?
I was saying in the definition of done, if
Yeah,
they
I'm sorry,
incorporated
yes,
QA testing
definition
into
of
their
done.
definition of done.
How will this inspection help them in dealing with their current challenge? Learning lesson, incorporating other context, third-party software issues into current team development velocity.
So they were accounting for that their team's velocity was
And
all based on how
adaptation.
they were developing.
Right. How do you believe this team will adapt to the current challenge? Describe how they should apply and reduce the impact of the challenge. We were talking about we're too limited if we think that it's just a wait for the original third party. There's a possibility that we could build it ourselves. In other words, are we limiting ourselves too much thinking that way? How necessary is all at once? Can the features reliant on the dependency be removed for the initial release and added later? Is there room for another team or a competitive vendor that has comparable library that could be licensed? In other words, we were getting into the problem-solving mode of the element. That's kind of how I would describe it. And looking at what possible ways the team could actually intervene and handle this.
Yeah,
What are the
looking at,
trade-offs in doing that?
and if there's a relative effort in creating it ourselves, what are other ways where we can reduce the amount of effort and the amount of time it would take to be able to fit within the period?
Yes. I would just invite, is there anybody else from the team that would like to illuminate our discussion a little bit more, or have anything else that they'd like to say?
We had a great team with Jaya and Alicia, and I think PK had to drop off here, and with Peter as well. I want to say thank you to all of you.
Yeah. It was a very balanced discussion with people, asking questions and giving input about the way that they actually saw the scenario.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Questions or comments from the team, or questions and comments for the team?
Chris, was this actually a large company or a smaller one that was taking this on?
It was a modestly sized company. I took some creative liberties. The looming deadline wasn't actually a Super Bowl ad. It was actually a big unveiling at a industry conference in Vegas. But it was a great big conference, and like literally the marketing department was all spun up for the how they were going to do this, and it was going to be this big deal. And game development being what it is. What they ended up doing was building in some extra like behind the scenes saving progress so that when it crashed, you at least had some like additional like save points that the user didn't necessarily like manually save the game there, but there it was, and they could go back to it. And they did they did essentially a beta release with the bug.
Mm-hmm.
Is how they did it. And
was it a core feature that was required to be able to have it in that library?
Well,
was there a reason why they felt they needed to be using this library and this
it was functionality. It was functionality that was used fairly distributed throughout what happens in the game, so it wasn't just isolated to one area. And yeah, and
just question of kill your darlings and like release that part later.
Yeah. So they instead of like having it be the big actual general release, it was like, oh, we've got a beta available. And I was gonna say, if it's a Super Bowl
ad, you could probably actually say it's a couple of months out. It's not going to release the day
of.
Yeah,
there's a limit to how much you can control on the technical stuff. You often have a lot of more control on how you market it.
Mm-hmm.
So some of it may have been just making a slight tweak to the Super Bowl ad to say, coming in March or April or whatever, available in April. Yeah. Rather than saying, oh, it has to ship the day the Super Bowl runs. Nobody's going to run out the next day, or very few people will run out the next day to buy the thing.
Yeah.
Your whole point is building up anticipation. And
Japan
actually
has a national
delaying
holiday
it a little bit may make them want it even more. But yeah, that's definitely one of the questions. The other, there was another question about, well, the vendor said 6 months. Does that mean they have a whole bunch of other priorities they're going to work on and then get to that? Or is it between now and 6 months from now, they're working full time on this one thing? Could the vendor be incentivized to perhaps bring in that feature earlier? It's worth a conversation to find out a little more about what's going on there. And rather than us taking on this thing, we've got a 2 to 4 month estimate on what it would take to this. That's pretty big uncertainty window right there. Factor of 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uncertainty bar of 100%. Maybe it's better if we have somebody who's already been working on this, tweak on what they have, than us opening this up and realize, oh, this stuff's harder than we thought, and finding out it's 6 months, not 4.
And
So
it
the
also
risk
speaks
factors
to
are pretty high there.
it also speaks to
Anyway.
the value of having your software decoupled so
Yep.
that it doesn't have the dependency that's all the way through the entire game.
Yep.
You could be able to, like, if it was tied to the save functionality, also the question is, why weren't they QA testing that against much sooner, was kind of where our question came up quite a bit in the our testing.
It wasn't tied to the save function. It was just that, you know, when the crash happened, you know, you lost everything that happened since your last save point.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nicely done, Team 2. Give it up for Team 2. Woo, woo, woo,
Excellent
woo.
job, everyone.
All right. And last, certainly not least, team number 3.
All right. I can share some screenage here. Let's see. Right. There we go. There we go. All right. Our scenario. Lindy is leaving. Let's see if I can get that thing to display again. Is it supposed to?
There it is.
Yeah, let's see if we can get off the. There we go. A little more full screeny. All right, so we're Team Gamma. We're good. We run lots of good Scrum stuff. We've run into the situation where Lindy's leaving. She was one of the founders of the company, has the deepest technical knowledge of the company's oldest best-selling product line. She architected a bunch of it, and nobody else in the organization knows it as well as she does. She's going to leave in a month to go off to run a nonprofit organization. It's been a dream job, and we've got to deal with it. So, Scrum Guide, transparency. So, just our team agreed that these are some of our the way our team is operating. We have our Scrum artifacts. They're highly visible. They're frequently updated. They're kept available to all team members. That's actually in there in this scenario. But we also added some other things. The team uses a set of agreed upon tools and working agreements to ensure everyone can access all information and resources they need, and that everyone understands expectations of everyone else on the team. The team has been regularly conducting code reviews and using pair programming to upskill the team members, following good coding and documentation practices so that we all can get a good handle on how the code works. None of us knows it quite as well as Lindy, but we all have a pretty good working functionality. All the developers have a pretty good working understanding of how the code base works. The product backlog is frequently updated by the product owner, and the product backlog items are estimated by the developers as a group. So it doesn't really matter which developer is going to take on a particular thing. The team has made a group commitment as far as what can fit into a sprint backlog. How does the transparency help them in dealing with the current challenge? The whole team has a good basic understanding of the product and its code base, so they're well positioned to keep modifying the code base. Perhaps less quickly than they would with Lindy on the team, but they're still able to move forward, perhaps with just a little bit reduced velocity. Team members, does anyone else want to jump in here to cover inspection? Just checking. Going once, going twice. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
So our inspection, we have daily scrums,
Jim,
we have
you
code
had-
reviews. Yeah, go
Jim,
ahead.
you had someone?
Sorry?
You had someone volunteering?
Okay, I didn't see a hand or anything else go up. What do we got?
Hi, this is Suman. I can explain you about
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
inspection. Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much. Let me take on to the bigger screen. Okay. During the discussion, we find out how we can do the inspection. What does the team do frequently? Inspect their work product, how they are working, and their connection with the stakeholder. The team should hold the daily scrum meeting, code reviews, sprint review with the whole team present and stakeholder, retrospective. Through these are the scrum ceremonies which if the team is implementing, they can bring the transparency also. It's a one of the pillar, but it's also in the inspection so that it's bring the clarity. Product owner is frequently meeting with the stakeholder, not only in the sprint review meeting. How will the inspection will help them dealing with the current challenge? Means now Lindy is leaving, how the team can still keep the focus on the work deliverable. Team maintains a clear understanding with the stakeholder needs the code-based design, because the initial design or the architecture was written by the Lindy, and later on other developer, when they are coming from the software team, they were working using as a foundation from the Lindy, and they are writing the code on top of that, but nobody exactly know what it is the base code line. Now here then they can have some product backlog sequence as a set of a product program owner. Those kind of a strategy the team can use to pass through this challenge when the Lindy is leaving.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Suman. And for adaptation, did we have someone else who wanted to? Teresa, or let's see. I think we had Tammy and Teresa.
I mean,
Where
I
are they
can,
here?
so you don't have to do it all. So for
That's okay.
adaptation, we came up with the team asking Lindy to step back from individual contributor duties and instead go into a coaching or mentoring role for her final month, so that the team could try to work through a sprint without her contributing in the usual way, and just, you know, using her as a resource. Also, the team can ask Lindy to provide the technical foundation training to help with that knowledge transfer, since she's the one who knows about the product foundation. And then Lindy needs to transfer her access and responsibilities to the team before leaving. So all those, you know, individual things she was doing and any access she has that others don't have. And then a final idea was that the team could ask Lindy if she wanted to be available on a consulting basis for a small number of hours per month for some time after she leaves, so that the team could, you know, build up their list of questions and maybe get an hour or two with her. And that's it.
Yeah, very nice.
Thanks, Teresa.
Questions, comments, thoughts, either from the team itself or for the team? Yeah.
Quiet out there.
Yeah. In real life, in this one, they did actually a lot of what you recommended here. So in that final time frame, Lindy did a lot of like little mini workshops and tours of the code and things like that. And as a team, with the support and blessing of their product owner, they temporarily prioritized anything that required changes, you know, in that older code. They prioritized it very high, and the deal was Lindy doesn't get to make any of those changes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She gets to sit next to somebody, she gets to code review, but she doesn't get to make the changes. And so, you know, they saw that there was a lot of value in making sure they get as much knowledge transfer as possible, even if that means, you know, on a strictly customer-facing basis, maybe we're working on some bugs or some enhancements that would otherwise be lower priority. That the, you know, the knowledge transfer value was worth doing that. So,
good call.
Wow. Give it up.
Definitely interesting for the product owner to try to figure out, okay, now this backlog sequence. Okay, so you want to do number 13 on the backlog. Okay.
Yeah, basically for that little bit of time, the product owner was like, you all tell me.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, nicely done, Team 3. Give it up. Give some appreciation to Team 3. Well done. Well done. Oh my goodness. So I want to open it up for comments, thoughts, questions from anybody. What are your thoughts about? What are the things that enable a team to navigate a real crisis or challenge?
And Chris, I wanted to say thank you so much for bringing kind of the forefront the breakout sessions and the opportunities to be able to have these kinds of questions. It's something that we have during our Friday discussions that we want to be able to bring more people in on when we do the Agile MBA, and we would love to talk to you about if there's any of those kinds of questions you might be able to surface and work with Jim on even. Be able to
We've got several people here who have helped to moderate the small groups from Friday discussion sessions. That's why they did such an awesome job when they got into these.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
this is a
nice.
great representation of the kinds of work that everyone's able to do working with both Agile Learning Labs and working with Job Hackers.
No, I really appreciate those scenarios. They're very real. And they force you to think.
Yeah. Well, happy to bring it. Happy to bring it. I'm dropping a couple of things in.
I was going to say, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to be able to share just a little bit. Discounts for those people that are job seeking. The opportunities.
Yep, that's the page. So on that page, all of our upcoming courses are listed, but the registration buttons have a special code built in that gives you the job seeker rate, which is the kind of the lowest available rate for those courses. So, if you or somebody you know and love would benefit from one of those, by all means, please share it. Also,
and we'll be sure to promote those for Job Hackers during our upcoming Agile MBA as well.
Excellent. Love that. Love that. And I'm also happy to connect with any of you on LinkedIn that I'm not already connected to. So my link is in the chat, and I encourage you all share your links as well so you can connect with each other if you're not already connected. Otherwise, and if I may be so bold, couple of ways to catch up with me in the future. As Edward, I think, mentioned early, I do run a meetup group called the Scrum Professionals. Link in the chat. We do a first Thursday of the month special presentation, and then a couple Monday afternoons each month. I do free online open office hours, so come by, hang out with me. Love to see you there. And then the list of all the places that you can catch up with me is here at the Agile Learning Labs events calendar. So thank you so much for having me. It's an honor, a privilege, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you've got a meetup group there, perhaps we could start posting that one in our events channel as well.
Definitely, we can be able to find ways to be able to pair up, and we'll reach out to you, Chris, in the future. I mean, we might be able to even just have a run through of letting people know about the Job Hackers, if you'd like, on an upcoming, our open enrollment is free and closes on October 10th. So there's a couple of weeks still for people to be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, love it.
And we could be able to direct people from Job Hackers to be able to take part of Agile Learning Labs when they're at that next level and they're looking for the certification. So there's some good partnership opportunities here, and we can be able to have that conversation offline.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, it's so great to be able to have you all here. Jim, do you want to go ahead and just share your screen and be able to just share a little bit about the Job Hackers here for those that are sticking around before we move to breakout rooms? And I'll be sure to give you the superpowers to be able to have the breakout rooms as well. But a round of applause for Chris here, everyone, and a big thank you for everything that you've been able to contribute here today. And a round of applause to everyone that showed up and that stuck around. I know it's a little late for some folks.
There it is. Okay.
Feel free to send out in Slack as well, Jim, later.
So
The
here we go.
slides.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share.
Yeah, there we are.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so just a little bit about the Job Hackers. Normally I'd have these before Chris got started, but I was caught up in traffic, so sorry about that. Let's see. There we go. We became an official nonprofit in 2017. The whole thing was started to help people who were out of work, upskill, by teaching them some things about agile practices and such. Since we became a nonprofit in 2017, we provided over $7 million worth of training for free. We do it for free because we're trying to help people. Over 3,150 people have completed our Agile MBA course, which we teach 4 times a year. It's a 6-week course and 2 sessions a week, plus Fridays where we have a discussion session and apply the knowledge. Over 23% of our students take the course more than once. We have some people who have taken it more than a dozen times because there's always more to learn. Over 800 students earned certificates of attendance last year. We're on track to do a similar number this year. 4-year registration demographics show that over 60% of our attendees are women. Over 60% are from underrepresented ethnicities. Average age is 41. So it's not just people starting their careers, it's people in all stages of their careers. And we're getting close to 100 countries that people have signed up for. Since we went online, pandemic and everything, it opened us up to the world, and now the world attends. So you get to meet people from all over the place. Our Agile MBA course was named one of the top 10 boot camps in San Francisco by switchup.org. There's a bunch of reviews out there of the course by various people who have attended it. Over 90% of the students who attend our course and take the PSM exam pass that exam on their first try and become a certified Scrum Master. We have our next Agile MBA course beginning on the 14th of October, so it's just a couple of weeks away. You can sign up now by following this link. We have a LinkedIn group that's easy way to network with other job hackers. So just send a request to join the group here. You can mention that you attended the meetup and we'll let you right in. We have a lot of different people coming to this meetup to share all kinds of ideas with us. It's a way of extending the training beyond the Agile MBA course. And with our meetups, we look out to the Agile community and some of the thought leaders out there. And there's a number of them you can see. I'm not going to go through the entire list, but we've had a lot of interesting ones. Many of the sessions are recorded, and we post links to the recordings on the meetup pages themselves for the different events. So they're in the comments section. Sometimes the speakers will have a slide deck or something that we'll also post a link for. And of course, we post a chat from the Zoom. So not every session is recorded, but most of them are. So if you're interested in any of these topics, just go back to the meetup site and look through past events to see what's out there. At this point, if anyone has an upcoming event to announce, Edward mentioned our upcoming Agile MBA, which is just in October 14th it starts, and registration is open now, so definitely get in while you can for free. And then you don't have to pay the late fee to get in.
I can go ahead and share that, Jim, if you want to give me the hosting.
Did you make me host?
Yes, I did.
Sure, I'll throw it back to you. Yeah, wait a minute. There you go.
There we go.
Feel the power.
So if anyone wants to be able to pull their phone out and take a quick picture of this, they can be able to find that QR code there. Alternatively, you can be able to go to thejobhackers.org/participant, and we put that in the chat there as well. Enrollment's already open. Enrollment's free while we're doing it. So like we said, getting a picture of some of the classwork and the materials that we have over 6 weeks. It's 12 classes that are each 90 minutes of presentation and discussion and conversation, as well as the Friday discussion groups where you can be able to have experiences quite like what Chris has offered here today. We'd love to be able to
Dealing with a scenario.
If you want to be able to follow us also, we have had a number of really great meetups here. Chris, we'll have to get your face up here as well as we're putting things out there and putting together more information. But you can be able to find us on all the different social medias. Find us on LinkedIn, find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter. We're also on Blue Sky, for those of you that do not want to be on Twitter. And yeah, we're open to taking questions. Well, Jim, if you think that we should be setting up breakout rooms, or how do you want to?
Well, we're a small enough
we'll
group
close
here.
things
I
out?
think we can kind of hang together.
Sure. Does anyone have any questions, either for Chris or questions about the class and the course?
It's not
Swap this
about the
back.
class. Hi, this is Suman. I have a question
Hi, Suman.
because when I'm joining through the meetup, it's saying if somebody removed you from the group, you can't join any session with them. Why I'm getting that error?
Somebody removed you from the.
We've had opportunities of individuals in the past where unfortunately they logged in using someone else's login. And then we have been dealing with some Zoom bombers or some other things. That
Mhm.
may have been something that had an issue. If you go ahead and email us at info@thejobhackers.org, that would probably be.
Can you put the Edward?
Yeah,
Can you
I'll
put
go
the
ahead and put
email
that in this.
ID?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Sometimes we've had people with their family, maybe they had a kid that jumped on and wanted to be a little disruptive. I can't say what the reason was specifically, but we can look into it for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Simone. Any other questions for anyone? You're free to come off mute to be able to ask them. Todd, it's great to see you. Teresa, always love to see you. Tammy, so great to be able to see you again and again. And with you, Felicia.
I want to make a one comment. It's more interactive that I really like it. Because most of the events when I'm attending, they are more like I'm in a listening mode, but here I'm more as in a participating mode that I really like it.
Well,
we're trying to find more presenters that we can engage to have that kind of, yeah. And Chris, that this is all the credit to you there.
Chris doesn't believe in lecturing and letting people just listen and zone out. He makes them work.
We believe, yeah, Job Hackers believes in lecturing you, but we also believe in making you work and think it through.
Now we give you a fire hose of stuff and then test you on how much of that did you remember. Which is why I said people take it more than once. There's always more that you didn't catch.
Okay.
Plus, there are different perspectives on it too.
Okay, then this is my day. I have another question. The website name is the Job Hackers. Do you help to find out a job, or do you prepare the workforce
We help
so
prepare
that they
people
are
for
enough
their
capable?
movement into the workforce. You don't have to be looking for work actively at the time. You're welcome to be able to join at any point in your career.
But we're not a job search service, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, because this is like that means you are preparing the workforce so that they are enough capable to go out into the job market and able to find out the job. Correct understanding?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
There
We are
is
a
that,
community
but
here to be able to provide.
Even if you're not looking for another job, we're teaching principles and practices and ideas, sharing things that help people better perform in their job, help them work together better in teams, figure out how to get along with folks and get things done effectively. which are all good skills to have. They certainly will help you find another job if you're looking for another job. But even if you're not, they can help you perform better in the job you've got.
And it may
Even if-
also it also helps you build on the community. It helps you pay forward if you already have a job, pay it forward to people that don't have work and that
Yep.
don't have jobs. You might find your next coworker here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Or your next hire.
Absolutely. And we
Or
have
your
some
next
really
boss
brilliant
even.
people that are part of this community. All right.
I hadn't seen Teresa actually on camera. Was she?
I see her. She's there.
Oh, there it is. It's just Zoom. Hey, I want to know what the theme is for January this 26th.
It is the magic and teamwork.
Oh, how topical. Wow. So,
Very.
background of that question is that Teresa is part of the Pasadena City of Burbank Rose Parade float committee. And so they always have an elaborate production each year, and she's heavily involved in that. So it's always interesting to see what they come up with.
Absolutely.
Creative bunch of headstrong people, right?
Yeah.
Who else is doing something really cool with their lives, either at work or outside of work? Does anyone want to write into the chat just a quick, like, let's give some people their flowers to stay on theme.
Yeah, who's training greyhounds or replanting forests
Or just making enough money for their family to be comfortable. Anyone raise your hand, you'll get a round of applause. We're just looking for one, but fair enough. All right, well, it's great to see you, Suman. It's great to be able to see everyone that's been able to be on camera here. And I want to say thank you so much, Chris, again. And we will be in touch and following up.
Oh,
very cool.
Ooh, link to the float.
A link for the float.
Link to the float. Jim, I'm going to let you be the host and share your screen to be able to share that. I'm going to drop off here, but I'm going to say thank you so much, all. And looking forward to being able to see those of us that are volunteers on the volunteer call tomorrow. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll do a quick share here. All paws on deck, huh?
Yep.
There we go. Let me see if I can and that's just the drawing. It's interesting when they actually render that into a 3D thing on wheels, all covered with flowers.
The turtle, I know they're not called shells, but the overall shell, each one of those, it's going to be individually mosaicked in beans.
Wow. But turtles, do they really have paws?
Well,
I don't
Why
think the
not?
dolphin does.
Well, wait a second. Why wouldn't a turtle have paws?
Turtle paws. Well, if you go to the Chinese store, they sell chicken paws.
Ooh.
That's what they call them.
Huh. I'll have to debate that one.
Yeah. Someone noted that
I just think turtle paws has a nice ring to it.
someone had noted that the rabbit is missing a foot, so not all foot are decked.
Well, somebody else is getting some luck. They got a rabbit's foot, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm starting to look around on the boat to see if it's one of these other animals that has the rabbit's foot, like tucked in their pocket or hanging off of their belt or something.
Well, that's the thing is there's
Makes you
so much
wonder.
detail on this thing that there's no way everybody's going to see it by the time it goes by.
Yeah, it's going to look exactly like this with just flowers covered in flowers, but all the same color scheme, shapes, and
Well, if you go to the website, she is going to post in no time at all, I'm sure, and look at some of the prior years. You see how it goes from a sketch to the actual 3D thing with actual people hanging off of it and stuff.
that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy
It's
amount of
our,
work.
But
it's our
it's not like,
telescope. Yeah. Huh?
but is it like 3D printing or something? Like, how do you get it that big?
What do you, that big? It's, I think about 50 feet long this year and about 28 feet high. There are a few things that are 3D printed, like the peg leg on the bunny. There are some other things that are 3D printed, but they're not going to be on any of them.
Did you say 28 feet high?
Yeah, because the
Okay,
mast is going to lower down and it's going to raise up.
so your
this is not
standard
small.
tractor trailer is 13.6. So think of
Yeah.
twice as high as the truck that drives down the street there.
So what is the under chassis? Like, what is driving this? What's underneath the
It's a
decoration?
chassis. There's a chassis that we build on,
But
and
what is it? Is it like, is it a combustion engine type thing?
nope,
Is it a tractor?
it's actually a chassis. It's like a frame, a metal frame, and it's run on propane.
Oh my goodness.
And the driver sits somewhere near where the front of the boat is, where the seahorse is. And
Yeah.
then all the animation people and all that stuff is going to sit in the back where the windows are. The boat's going to be rocking up and down.
And
And
what drives that?
there's an animation motor that we have, and we have 2 hydraulic jacks that are going to be working it.
You're gonna have some barf buckets for when they start getting seasick.
I hope so.
Who's going to write the code to make that thing move?
It's actually not code, it's old-fashioned automation stuff.
Mechanics.
Mechanics.
So you basically eliminated the need for all the stuff we just talked about. It's all mechanical.
Yeah, but
So this whole lesson was just made irrelevant.
No.
How dare you? How dare you use low tech for this?
As you'll discover if you show up on our Friday discussion sessions, these practices are not all about software. I always bring in at least one case that's hardware related or something else, and one case that has nothing whatsoever to do with any of that.
Nice.
So,
well, I was just thinking of tonight. That's why I made the joke. Sorry.
yeah,
Didn't come off very well.
Okay. No worries.
On Sunday, I was helping carve the captain's head.
Yeah, where are the photos and videos of progress?
If you go up to the top, it has like I think a history, and it just you go to the different
neat.
years and all that, and you can click in there, and you'll see below that it should give like different photos and stuff like that.
That's really
So
cool.
that's the captain at the helm?
No, not with the eyepiece, the one that's back with the wheel. Next to the
No, that's the helm.
Oh, okay. I don't know my way around the ship yet.
The one with the red hat.
Yes. That's the captain. Although we've had other people say the one with the dog bones is the captain, but we're saying no. And on the other side, there's going to be another cat who's forcing a skunk off the ship off a plank.
Oh, yeah, we can't see the backside.
Oh. There's like 13, 15, I think 15 different animals on here. Because but we have 2 sides of it, and this is the camera side, and then we have another side. And on the other side, there's going to be a kraken.
A what?
A kraken?
Oh, wow.
That was just sprung on me like this last week. I'm like, what?
And yeah, you're not expected to implement the Kraken, right?
No.
Okay.
But when I take groups around and when I bring them through, I tell them all different things about, this, that, and the other. Each of the animals have names. We sold them for $100 a piece. But the first one, the guy with the eyepiece, his name is Carl, named after a beloved volunteer who passed away this year.
Is that a parrot up top?
Uh-huh.
Shouldn't it be a black bird instead?
No, in actually Burbank and LA and actually Glendale area, we get parrots. They somehow by reason we got a bunch and they just
Yeah, there's some in San Francisco, some in Sunnyvale. Yeah, there's a flock, a resident flock, and they're noisy. The green ones, right?
Yep.
Oh, they're noisy.
They're very
I got a
It's a
question.
crow's nest, though. It's supposed to be a crow, right?
I know, but that's what they
Yeah.
decided.
I'm looking at the last year's Having a Lava Fun,
Oh my God, yeah.
and there's actually a zoomed in photograph of I guess it's the motor control,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Gilder fluke connected to sorry, smart brick brain connected to a SMPTE brick. So this thing's running on time code?
I guess so. I
Because I see what looks like a clock above it with that ribbon cable and all those different buttons and levers and stuff, and it's like animation. You said
Yep.
it's an animation.
Yep, we have an animation
sequencing?
thing, and it just goes from there.
So my guess is that in that particular setup, you had multiple moving parts, like 8 different moving pieces. So they must have had to run in a particular sequence.
It did. We had the fish, the first dinosaur's head moved back and forth, but the fishes didn't make it to the parade because they broke off. The two dinosaurs in the middle, right there on the seesaw, were going up and down, and the two in the back behind them in the eggs, they were turning around. And then we had water flowing out on the front.
Okay. This is I'm looking at the parade day slides, image 7735. You were just there. Anyway.
77.
7735. It might have been at the top.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
35.
Oh yeah, that's one of our main operators. Yeah.
Now, if you notice this is essentially the cockpit.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I know that is because he's got a picture of a significant other to look at while he's flying.
Oh.
Why aren't you the sleuth? That's funny.
That's amazing that's what this is running from.
And he's our VP of float. He's kind of my boss.
And this tunnel is
he's actually
just looking through the float, huh?
Yeah. He's in the first dinosaur. He's right, where that red part.
Yeah.
He's in there.
Wow. That's pretty sweet.
And the driver is, you see that opening slit like right below, like directly below the dinosaur.
Yeah.
That slit is where the viewer is viewing out, and then the driver sits underneath the dinosaur, the first dinosaur, and he's telling, they're communicating, saying go, go. They're not sitting next to each other. They're separated, the driver and the viewer.
Yeah, I see the driver in a different shot.
Where's a good one?
7730 looks like the driver.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's so
yeah,
nice.
and then the two little ones on the side were running, but they died too.
Okay, well, one of your goals should be to have no casualties on this float. So make that a goal, put it in the backlog, prioritize it.
No
death.
death.
Assign to somebody. 0 casualties or 0 body count, as they say in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, that's what it looks like going down the
Oh,
parade.
and real
Look at
smoke out
that.
of your,
Yeah, we had.
What is that? Dry ice?
No, it was actually smoke. And then we had fire
Smoke
too.
from what though? Like a smoke
little
machine?
charcoal
We had
burner?
a smoke thing, a smoke machine, and we actually had a real fire. And there's a lady in white on the other side, and there's 2 other people, you can't see them. They're behind. They're making sure that if there's any fire anywhere, because we had fire, and then they're walking beside the float.
The fire extinguisher?
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
we have to have 4 fire I think 3 or 4 fire extinguishers on the float. And we also
But it's January. Nothing will burn in LA in January, right?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. There a couple years ago there was a float that caught fire and got stuck on that corner.
Whole lot
And
more caught fire last year.
yeah. But yeah, I would say like about, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, one of the floats caught fire and it stopped in the middle of going around the corner and nobody else can go around it.
Well, that's a
There
real
you go.
flame.
There's some flame.
Yeah. I wasn't kidding. It was a fire.
So the
Yeah, you got to
smoke, that
watch it when you
smoke right
start going
there.
under the eucalyptus.
There's smoke
Wait a
and then
second though.
because it's a volcano.
Yeah. But I mean, the smoke and the fire are coming from the same pipe?
No, they're 2 separate ones.
Okay.
And I will tell you this much, climbing up in that thing was probably the scariest thing I ever did. If I misstepped, I would have float straight to the floor.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, eucalyptus tree is not what you want to have your fire under.
No, we had to be very, very careful where they lit it off.
Yeah, not yet. Wait till we pass this grove.
We had to do it in front of camera, in front of everything in the front, but after that,
Yeah.
But they lined us all up on the street, and there's like, I would say a mile long of, streets down on you. Each street has different portions of the parade, and they just pull you in line and they just have you start going. But all the floats are all lined up in order of they're going to be going down the parade route. And they start pulling you forward. I mean, you're back a good 3 blocks. They start pulling you forward, like, because the parade starts at 8, so they start pulling you forward around 7:30 or a little bit before that. And this year
I'm going to have to go ahead and end my participation, but I'm happy to turn it over to somebody else if they want to keep this discussion going.
I don't know. Does anybody else have any other questions before I say I'm gonna go?
Well,
no, I actually got to go at it's close to 7:30. So I really appreciate the exercise. I appreciate the presentation. Very much appreciate the collaboration and the exercise that we had earlier.
Yeah, it was great to work with folks in the team and bounce those ideas around and see what the other teams come up with.
Indeed. Thank you all so much.
All
Hope to see
right.
you on the next one.
See ya for next month's meetup, and hopefully we'll see some of you in the course starting October 14th.
Good night.
All right.
Good luck.
Good to see you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.